Hello people and welcome back. Today I'm going to be going through my actual training split. You know I'm injured if you watch my last video, but I'm going to go through my training split, what I'm going to be actually doing when I get back in the gym. It's changed a bit because obviously a few months ago I showed you my training split day by day. It's basically the same, but it's actually going to be changing now. Some movements are been taken out. I've obviously had to change some things because of my lower back. So, and I've took out movements which involve the lower back, you know. So this video is going to be like that, and the few videos after are going to be in the house talking about certain things like supplements I take or the calories I'm eating. But this one is about my training split. So if you are excited for this video, obviously subscribe and like this video. So my training split is over 5 days. I do Monday to Friday, have the weekends off because obviously I'm a single dad and I want to spend as much time as possible with my son. So we're both off at the same time and we can enjoy each other's company. Sometimes I do train on a Saturday. If I do feel a bit tired on one of the days, I do get in the gym on a Saturday, maybe in the early hours of the morning. But my training split is push pull legs, push pull. The reason is because I enjoy it. I've always enjoyed it. I've tried other splits before and I feel like I'm not tackling the body parts as enough. I like to hit the body parts at least twice a week. Legs at the moment is one because obviously I'm only doing 5 days. So at the moment, while I'm on prep, I'm probably going to be going into men's physique. So I want to prioritise the top half of my body more than my legs. The legs I do on my training day are good enough for, you know, that day. You know, I do a lot of work on that day. So they take longer to recover as well because I'm not a big leg guy. But that will change eventually when prep is over. So I'm going to go through the days now. I have my book. This is what I write all my progress in. I suggest if you haven't got a logbook, do it on a logbook. I like doing it on paper because it's just easier. I can't be doing with going on my phone every 5 seconds, you know, and I just don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through Monday now, and Monday is going to be a push day. I usually warm up with a chest fly on a cable machine just because it stretches the chest. Obviously, if you don't know, your pecs and your fibers go across like that. So when you're doing a fly, you're stretching the muscles and, you know, it's a great warm up. What I do is I usually build up on that from light to heavy just to get a good range of weighting, and I also do a few short lengths and long lengths just to get the whole chest stretched in the different areas. Once I feel warm on that, I do a few sets of incline dumbbells before I start my proper set on incline dumbbells. I do 2 sets of most of the exercises in my program. So I do a heavier set where I'm looking to get between 6, maybe 8 reps at max. If I go over 8, then I'll put the weight up next time. And then the second set is going to be, I'm looking for 12 plus. Doesn't matter where, as long as I get 12 plus, then obviously I will up the weight on that as well. You know, if it's too easy and I'm just getting over 15, I'll up a weight to the next level. After I do incline dumbbell press, I go straight onto shoulders. The reason being, I want to get the heavier movements out of the way. I've tried it before where I've done chest and then shoulders at the end, and you're so fatigued, it just lacks on your shoulders at the end of the workout. You know, you're fatigued, you're sore, and you know, you just don't have as much energy. So what I try and do is I try and get the 2 biggest movements out of the way first, so they are going to be good actual working sets, and then when it comes down to the end, it's more cables, you know, stuff that the more fluffier stuff, I would say, where you can do a lot of more slow, more controlled, where the eccentric, you can deload, you can do supersets, you can do drop sets, you know, just to burn out the muscle. What I try and do on a push day is I try and tackle the whole of the chest. I want to build the top of my chest. That is my priority at the moment. I want to build a good shelf. I think it looks the best when you've got a broad chest at the top. But also I don't want to lag on different parts. So after the 2 dumbbell movements, I go to a chest press machine on a cable machine, just because I feel the best of that. I choose that over dumbbells because I feel like you're on constant tension. You feel constant pressure on the chest. You feel like you got a proper pump as well, and it just feels better. And I suggest, if you are thinking about doing your own program, do exercise that you feel good on, you know, that it works. Don't just do an exercise because you see somebody else doing it. Do an exercise where it works for you. After that, I go straight onto dips. This is my only lower part of the chest workout. I just feel like dips hit, you could say, 2 parts of the body in one. Obviously you're going to work the triceps as well, but dips, I did body weight first, and then I've up now to 1 plate, 20 kg. So it's 3 sets of this, unlike 2 before, and as many as I can do in them 3 sets. The reason why I do dips is because I just feel, like I said, it stretches the lower pec a lot better than most other machines. Obviously you do get barbells where you can have it on a decline. You can have machines where it hits the lower pec, but you haven't got that resistance where you are going as far back as possible. And with a dip, you do go as far back. As more you stretch it on the lower pec, the more it's going to obviously build muscle. After that, I go onto a plate loaded machine and I do an incline press. I do 2 sets of this as well, because I want to obviously get strong. It's a fixed position, where dumbbells are not a fixed position. So obviously your form, you might not be hitting that part of the chest in the right position every single time. That's what happens with free weights. With a machine or a fixed position machine, you're going to hit, basically, it's going to be very, very hard if you can't hit that area. That is the whole point in that machine. You're in a fixed position, it's being lifted in a way. So obviously when you're lifting like that on the machine, you're hitting the top part of the chest. So that's why I have had this in as well, because it's a strict movement. After that, I go on to some lat raises. This is not a permanent part of my plan. It depends on how busy the gym is. I'll either do dumbbell lat raises or I'll do a seated raise machine, where it's either the one where you sit down and you put your elbows on pads and you lift up, or the pendulum one where you hold the bars and you put your arms up like that. Doesn't matter, they all do the same thing, but depending on how I feel, I might do the seated one because obviously it's more restricted and you can't cheat. If I want to hit a bit more weight, obviously I'll use dumbbells, or I might do a superset or triple drop set. Depending on how I feel, I do this. It's just to burn out them shoulders, and then I go on to actually shrugs after that. I put shrugs in this day because I don't do it any other day. I do 1 shrug exercise a week because it's a small muscle and it doesn't really need developing that much more. You know, I've got quite good, I would say, muscles in that area. I finish off with some flies on the chest, which are cable. Just gonna rep them out, probably do 15 to 20, 3 or 4 sets. You know, nothing like, I would say, strenuous or heavy. Nice and light, where I can get around 15, like 20 reps. And then we go on to triceps, which are basically, I don't have a set tricep exercises. Usually what I'll start off with is I'll do 1 heavy set on a certain movement where it's going to tackle the whole of the tricep, where it could be skull crushers, a tricep machine, which is focusing on the whole of the tricep, or some pull downs, heavy move, and then I will focus on basically lighter work where it tackles the different angles. So an overhead one, I do a side one, and then I'll do single movements, so I get both arms. On Tuesday it's a pull day. This is where it's changed a bit. At the start I did stiff-legged deadlifts. I had this put in, a great movement to tackle the whole of the back. The only trouble is now I've got issues with the lower part of the back. It is very taxing on the lower part of the back. You have a lot of weight going on the bottom of your back, and I can't risk getting injured again. So it's out. The reason being is it's just too risky doing it now. The second movement I had as well was barbell rows, and that was obviously very similar. You're putting your back in a position where you're overloading the weight, and the whole of the weight is going on your back, and I'm not supported. We don't have a T-bar row at my gym, so I could have just done it that way, but we haven't got one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the bench, have an incline, and then do dumbbell rows, and work the back singly like that. It's the same thing. In a way, I could actually probably raise the weight up more because I'm in a fixed position. It just takes the whole strain off the back as well, because obviously my chest is planted on the bench, and also I'll be hitting the position of where I'm targeting a lot better. You know, obviously I can't jerk it up as much, you know, and so that is going to be the movement, the big compound movement for my back at the start. Reason being is I just can't do the other ones. So then I go into iso lat pull down, plate loaded. I do 2 obviously working sets. On back I focus on my lats a lot more than anywhere else. The reason being I want to get big lats, you know, from a back position, from a front position, from a side position. I want my lats to stand out. I don't want to be standing there where my body is very, very symmetrical. I want it to be like, obviously like that, and look like I'm more tapered. Obviously your lats will make you look more tapered and your waist thinner. After that I go onto a lat seated pull downs with a cable machine. You might have seen it before. A lot of people do it now, where you're pulling down with a cable and it targets the actual lat. Absolutely brilliant. You know, I've never had a movement where it feels so good. Constant pressure on the actual lat as well, especially the lower part. I feel like it hits the lower part. That movement with the first movement is my lats completely fried. Then I go onto a seated row machine. I do single arm, bit like the lat pull down with single, but I pull it obviously towards me and twist, so it's getting the thickness of the lats. The reason being I do it singly because you can get it further into a deeper position and you can feel it more. When you're doing it with a bar, you don't seem to be able to get it a full contraction, so I do singly. After that I go into high row, just because I want to hit the higher part of my back, and because only I would say the dumbbell rows are the only thing that's probably gonna be hitting that part. So I want to get another movement in there where it's focusing on the top part of my back. I finish off with some rear delts on a fly machine because it targets a bit better. I was going to do face pulls, but I just don't feel like they do anything. I've done them for years and I just feel like I can't contract the muscle. And like I said, if you can't feel the contraction in a movement, don't do the movement. With the rear delt machine, you obviously just sit the opposite way and then you bring your arms back and then do that, and you know it hits a spot. There's small muscle, you know, and so don't leave them out. You can just absolutely go for it and fry them out, and that's what I do. Do like 3, maybe 4 sets, just burnout sets, nice lightweight, because you're not going to do heavy movements on this. And then I go on to biceps, and it's very similar to what I do with my triceps, I do a heavy movement like a barbell curl or dumbbell curls to start off with, and then I'll go on the cable machines, do a few cable curls, and I'll do 2 angled movements where I'm hitting the inner peak and outer peak, and that's it. So if you're enjoying this, obviously give me a thumbs up. Tell me what your split is. Do you do any of these movements? But next day is obviously the Wednesday, and it's leg day. Leg day is one of them days where I am starting to really enjoy, because I'm seeing a lot of progress. What I do on leg day is I warm up on the abductors and adductors. Obviously this is just a warm up. They're like my fly machine for my legs. They warm up the inner and outer part of the legs, and I just raise it up until I feel like I'm warm in that area. Then I go on to leg curls and leg extensions. Nothing heavy, but like a pyramid set going upwards. Maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4, depending on what what I feel like. If I don't feel warm, I won't. I'll just carry on basically. So when I do my first compound movement, it is going to either be a hack squat or a leg press. I usually do between the weeks. I usually go on hacks first week, and then I'll probably go on leg press the other week. But I've changed it now where I want to just focus on the hack squat. The reason being is the hack squat is the one that I want to beat. I don't care if I'm on prep or not on prep. I want to get really strong on this because it's impressive. This is one exercise I want to improve on. So this is my first proper, I would say, working set. After that, then I go back onto leg curls and do my proper working set. 2 working sets and then a burnout set. Then I go on to leg extensions and I do the same. I finish up with a burnout set on the leg press. I find a weight that I can do a lot of reps on, so something that's not extremely heavy, but somewhere between a happy medium where I know I can get so many reps, like say 12, and then burn it out. So what I want to do is I want to do as many reps as possible on the first actual set, and then I burn it out and then burn it out again. So it's like 3 sets of pure pain on the leg press. Reason being, it's like obviously it's the end of my legs, and that is it. I finish with calves. Sometimes I put it first just because it's a part of the leg and I warm it up, but sometimes I forget. So it's one of them exercises you just forget about your calves, but I usually put it in. I only do my calves once a week anyway, so if I do forget it on that day, I'll just do it on the next day or do it on the day before. After these 3 days, usually a lot of people would say you need a rest, you're fatigued, and sometimes I do. Thursdays are the day where, depends on how I feel, I might have the day off just because obviously I've had legs 3 days in a row working out and I am fatigued. I have had days off before, but other days I haven't. But if I don't, it is another push day. And what I do is I stay to the same actual workout. I do not change my workout. I think a lot of people do too many exercises on too many different days. So they want to build their chest, so they think they need to do about 400 million different exercises to build the chest, and you're just confusing that body part. Stick to the basics. Stick to about, I would say, about 4 or 5 different movements for the body part, and then keep it going like that. So on the next 2 days, I usually, with my arms, I usually just focus more on the part I feel like it's more lagging. So I might focus on a few exercises on that, or a few more sets. I have no routine for my arms. My arms are the same movements, but I'll just do a few more sets or a burnout set on that movement. On my last day, obviously Friday, I am doing pull, and it's exactly the same as what it is on the other day. Like I said, don't change, don't just keep simple, you know, because then you'll get good at them movements. Don't swap and change, because it won't benefit you. Will this plan carry on the same all the way through prep? Pretty much it will. If I feel like there's one part of my body that's a bit lagging, I know I'm not going to be able to grow muscle while I'm cutting, but there's no reason why I can't just take out a movement where I feel, well, it's not doing anything at the moment, you know, I look good in that part, so I might swap it and put on another movement where it's going to just help maybe push that muscle up a bit more. You know, I'm not saying it's going to grow, but you can't say never is never. So it's going to be one of them. Obviously, I have the weekends off, but yeah, that is pretty much my training plan. And like I said, if you want to see my training plan in more depth, go and watch the videos which are on the screen now. They are obviously showing you day by day what I do, what sets, and it's a full proper breakdown. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, obviously subscribe and like this video, and see you next week, and see you next time, where I'm going to be showing you my calories in a day. Where I'm going to, so if you did enjoy this video, obviously like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video where I'm going to be doing what I eat in a day on my calories. Goodbye.